Here is a 2024 Toyota 4Runner Limited in underground over brown leather. The limited trim is very unique because if you don't want to go TRD to get the off-road suspension and a smaller wheel, you go here and you get the special X-Ray suspension. It's a sport dynamic suspension and all-wheel drive with the A-track locking center differential. I'm Anthony from Hawkeye Rides, and I'm going to go over some pros and cons, comparable rivals, and what is the problem that I have with the 4Runner. Starting off, LED headlights, daytime runnings, and fog lights. All that is standard in nearly 10 inches of clearance. So when you're considering an off-road variant, you don't have to go TRD anymore. You can click the box for the limited tier. The difference though is the grille is going to get some more chrome elements. Same thing all over the front fascia. Front and rear parking sensors and a 360-degree reverse camera. Also, you might not be able to do as much rock crawling with this because we have upgraded 20-inch wheels. Standard is a 17-inch wheel. Underneath the hood is going to house the 4.0 liter V6 producing 270 horsepower and 278 pound-feet of torque paired to a 5-speed automatic transmission, and it's going to achieve 16 mpgs for the city and 19 mpgs for the highway, which when you're considering an off-roadsy vehicle, the problem begins with the 5,000 pounds of towing for me and 1,550 pounds of payload because this is a body-on-frame, so it's more rugged and yet it's lacking in the performance line for towing and payload. I would like to see those numbers bumped up to at least 6,000 to 7,500 pounds and a payload of over 2,500 pounds because I'm not able to tow a larger boat. I can tow maybe one jet ski. Running boards is going to be an option on all trims and the roof rails with the satin aluminum. Comparing this against Nissan, it's going to have a better payload and better towing capabilities, even against a Kia Telluride, in which those are more family oriented. So when I'm thinking a rugged, raw performance vehicle that I see doing crazy things in the desert, that's what I'm getting at. LED taillights, the lower gets a touch of the chrome. You get the spare tire tucked underneath, one exhaust outlet. Because it's a V6, I'll let it slide, but it's so tucked underneath that it's hardly even visible. Quick release, going into over 44 cubic feet of storage. We have the rear tray, which we'll get to in a second, a hole plug, 12 volt, little storage with the cargo net. You get your sound system up here. 440 pounds can be held on this tray, which will move. And what do you think this is good for? For me, I would say tailgating, because I'm about 180, 190 pounds. I can fit my friend next to me, enjoy the sound system while enjoying a game. Or if I'm working, 440 pounds, I can slide it out easier. I'm not going to scratch or hurt the bumper at all, and it makes my day easy. Another thing is you can roll up and down the window in the back, which is great for animals, because it's one of the only vehicles that does this unless you option a truck. Unfortunately, you do have to go to the back seat area in order to split fold the rear bench. So it goes up like this, just tilt this, push this button in, and it'll slide down flat. That's going to increase cargo to over 88 cubic feet with a flat floor and the ability to move your cargo in and out a lot more simple. Let's go inside, start up this V6 so you can hear that exhaust note. Headroom and leg room. The 4Runner has always had a good amount of space for the front occupants. Wood inlays with the satin aluminum, and it's a more flat dash layout. 4.2 TFT for the driver, which can go through an array of information, including different settings. Otherwise, the tach and odometer are analog. Leather wrap heated steering wheel, multi-function. 8-inch infotainment screen with Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, Sirius XM, Amazon Alexa, which can be an option when you go into the SR5 Premium. Put it into reverse, 360-degree reverse camera, full trajectory for the front and the rear. The Limited starts the dual climate control settings, 12 volt, and a USB. Cup holder, with 4 high, 4 low. A little area or storage pocket for some change, and another area for some change with another cup holder. The wood and the leather goes around it. It's going to be more sporty. It opens up into a deep storage pocket with a 12 volt. It's 2-tier base, and you have another area here or a sleeve that you can fit probably your wallet with a pin holder. And the key fob for the 4Runner. Auto dimming rear view mirror, which can be an option on the SR5. A moon roof. And the door is going to have one touch up and down for all your windows, and it's soft materials everywhere more or less where it needs to be. A little storage tier with a larger storage pocket with a couple beverage holders carved out. For the back seats, headroom and leg room. Storage behind both of the front seats. 2 USB ports, air vents, cup holders with an armrest in the center. You could also recline these seats, or you can sit them up more upright. Either way, it's still a comfortable sit in the back. And the door is going to have the same soft materials with the same little storage pocket in the top, just a smaller storage pocket in the bottom. Sliding to the center, the floor is not completely flat, but you'll still have quite a bit of feet space. Sharing a little bit of butt and shoulder space, and headroom for somebody that's over 6 foot tall is not a problem sitting in the center. 270 horsepower, here we go. With 278 pound-feet of torque. The steering's gonna have some weight to it. This does have a specially tuned suspension, which is unique to the limited trim. I do like that Toyota is doing that right off the top, because now I have the choice between a TRD or this. This is going to be more luxurious in the interior, and even on the exit you get 20-inch wheels, so it just looks a little bit more up to today's standards in the sense of I haven't refreshed this vehicle for a very long time. Stopping on the vehicle isn't bad either. And to show you a little bit of fun here, I wouldn't go too crazy. This is a box on wheels. Because the curb weight is 4,800 pounds, I would have liked to see a little bit more performance underneath the hood, especially considering they haven't done a refresh in this vehicle for quite a while. That's going to start taking me to some pros and cons. Starting off with the pros about the vehicle is it's still rugged and it can still do every single thing you need it to do. Even if you wanted to take this on the desert, it can conquer it, which a lot of vehicles in its class may say they can, but they may not be able to do it to the full capacity. In which, if you've watched YouTube videos, and I'm assuming you have because you're watching mine, when you see people going into the desert in Saudi, what do you see? Toyotas. Why? Because they last and they're able to conquer everything. I've seen these vehicles flipped over and they just get out of the car and flip it back. That's pretty crazy. But on some cons, it would be nice that they polish it up a little bit. The ground clearance is excellent. The ability to have multiple suspensions is great. Options in the vehicle is always a plus. The steering is going to have some weight to it, but you're expecting that for that suspension. But you can still move in and out without too many problems. The turn radius at a stop point is going to be roughly 3 lanes though, because it's still a long vehicle. If you're considering this over the Sequoia, that's going to be a more refined drive because it was refreshed and you have increased horsepower and torque. The torque is over 180 pound-feet more than the prior gen in that one. So what I'm saying is, why don't they do that with this? It would make this vehicle a lot more desirable, especially when you're in the mid-50s to near 60,000 pricing at a limited trim. And the biggest problem, besides the performance, the towing, and the payload, I know it sounds like a lot, is this infotainment screen. 8 inches is just too small for the size of this vehicle. Even with a 360-degree reverse camera, it doesn't give you a lot of real estate to look around. Storage nooks, it's kind of missing in the center. They could have cleaned up this space. And this armrest area basically becomes an elbow rest if you're shorter. Overall, it's a great vehicle in the sense that it can do your on-road and off-road. The sound deadening isn't bad, and the ride quality isn't either, considering it is more derived for off-roading. But to get it up and going, I'm afraid to go, and the cars are not even that far away. But let me know your thoughts in the comments. And if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. Check out the next video, merchandise, website, and Instagram. Leave a comment and a like. And I'd like to thank Gettle Stadium Toyota for giving us this 2024 Toyota 4Runner for our car review.